All right, if you just joined us, this is still Enterprise Morning from our headquarters in Lagos, Nigeria. And now to our main conversation for today. Founder and senior pastor of Daystar Christian Center, Sam Adeyemi, has revealed the reasons behind his prolonged stay in the United States of America. He said that COVID-19 and SARS protests and notably troubling dreams about Nigeria prompted what came to look like an actual relocation.
Well, it's not the way many may have read the story, but the details of why he had to spend a long 3 years in the United States have only now come to light, after many concluded that the famous pastor had indeed joined the Japa bandwagon.
Very well. And according to Sam Adeyemi, a succession of very frightening dreams involving violent attacks on him made he and his wife to have a rethink and ask the Holy Spirit for direction.
Well, the Holy Spirit, as the story goes, indeed inspired him to shift focus from just being the pastor of a local church to a global audience, leveraging technology.
I'm not sure if this answers all the question. We have in the studios with us Cyril Abaku. He is a journalist and a public affairs commentator. Good morning.
Good morning.
And welcome.
Thank you.
Good morning, welcome.
I am glad to be here.
All right, so there we have it, Sam Adeyemi and all the story about why he left the country. Cyril Abaku, the question here is, everyone can have dreams. You know, dreams is a prerogative of everyone. And sometimes the dreams that you have might not necessarily be pragmatically what you get to see at the end of the day. Now, when we have a notable personality, an opinion leader, pastors and religious people are supposed to be individuals in the society that call to action issues of national interest. So when we have someone as reputable as Sam Adeyemi leaving the shores of the country to a safe haven, do you think there's hope for the rest of us still hanging around in Nigeria?
Well, let me answer the last question before I address the premise on which the question was based. The last point was, if big men like this, in quote, will have to seek haven elsewhere, what is the fate of the rest of us? There's another pastor in Lagos, very prominent celebrity preacher, who famously said Nigeria needed to have a plan B. I don't know if you recall.
Yeah, very well.
Yes, plan B. Pastor Sam, Pastor
Paul
Adefarati.
And that was during the election period.
Yeah, last year he said, have a plan B. The whole lot of them, they are evil, they're not. So, I, for one, I don't necessarily look bad at those or on those who leave Nigeria to seek. Some of us have not left because we consider ourselves a bit too patriotic or a bit more patriotic than to just take a walk, frankly speaking. Otherwise, Nigerians, my generation, when I look at my generation of Nigerians, I can touch base with some of the aspirations we had growing up, the role models we had, and what we thought we wanted to do in our own little right. But the Nigeria in which our role models had the liberty to aspire isn't the kind of Nigeria we have today. Okay? Aspiration, dreams, intellectual endeavors are things you undertake when your belly isn't rumbling.
Okay.
You don't think of, you can't be dreaming big when your stomach is asking you questions. It means all your energy, all your thought, everything you can do will be channeled to, first of all, deal with the question of your body before you can think of other things. And anywhere society has been reduced to belly seeking, it means that we can't even be brothers keepers. So that space has shrunk significantly. So when I see people packing their bags and walking away, we have in this country people who are working in top tier banks, earning up to as much as 32 million per annum, and they're packing their bags and walk. There's a particular big bank in this country, one of the biggest modern banks in Nigeria, strong capital base, strong reputation, hard back, everything. They even have a WhatsApp group. How to Japan, we have landed. Okay, if you want to come, go to the embassy, I'll talk to this person. They have that. It's like a cooperative. So I can't blame people who leave, whether they are rich or poor. But that is by the way. Now, as to Pastor Sam, Reverend Sam's right to base his absence from Nigeria on the dreams he had. Let me be a bit religious here.
Okay.
In the Bible, there was a time the Pharaoh had a dream, and he told Joseph. Joseph said, because you had this dream twice in one night, it means this matter is a shorty, and God is going to bring it to pass very soon. So when Pastor Sam said that in his life, he has never had a dream twice in one night, and that he had the dream the first time, he woke up shouting the name of Jesus in the dream, not knowing that he was shouting out loud. And after they had prayed for 3 hours, I don't know whether you've ever tried to pray for 3 hours non-stop. It can be a serious bore. That is, if your mind doesn't travel, but there are people who can pray for 7, 10, 15, 24 hours like that non-stop. So for Pastor Sam to have said he prayed for 3 hours, that was quite an investment of his time. Now, after 3 hours of prayer, he slept and had that same dream. Shows that from the way he explained it and the way I would understand it as a student of the Bible. In one night, the same dream, after you have tried to cancel it, in fact, it comes back even on a worse scale. Now, and that was coming 3 days after his own wife had dreamt, saying that she went to Nigeria and came back to went back
America.
To the US.
Yeah.
Let me make a little detour. Henry, no matter how you want to look at it, people accuse the likes of some Adeyemi, even Chris Okotie, of being so-called prosperity preachers. I understand that Reverend Sam is in the wisdom line. Motivation, wisdom, success, and so on. You cannot have people pay for. You can't have people, 40,000 people listening to you, on a weekly basis. For those who like to think in that direction, anyway, considering the financial implication of such a number on you as a person, and you rather stay in America rather than in Nigeria, where that base is. You know what I mean? What's Japan for? Is it not where you make more money, where life will be better for you? You see, even Reverend Sam has said it every time that when he goes to preach in America, he is no more than a church member. You get what I mean? The whites in the US particularly, where we took a lot of the Pentecostal influence to Nigeria from, you are Brother Henry Igwebike. If you become a reverend, you will still be Brother Henry the Reverend.
Okay.
So they are extremely collegial, very interactive, very collegial, very democratic, if you want to use that word. You know, in Nigeria, your pastor is like a KBC.
Very true.
And if he's coming, the whole road will be cleared. Anything he said, people, it's final. Who will leave such a sweet pot? You get what I'm saying? What I remember Reverend Sam was that I think he was pursuing his PhD in the US, PhD in leadership, right? Which he has acquired. And then from what I also heard him say in the interview, I don't follow him much, but I know a few things about him, so that's why I can speak this way. After the PhD, even he said that when he calculated, he had only been out of Nigeria only 8 weeks. All right? Pastors do these things. I mean, sometimes when things come, when matters come to a head, you want to go to do somewhere just to clear up your mind. If it's for a week, if it's for a month, if it's for as long as you should, you know that you need. So you don't just work yourself into a burnout.
Thank you, Cyril.
And then, okay.
Sorry to cut you short. Yeah. Now, to add up to what he said that he made a particular comment. He said it's important for the older generations, including the political, religious leaders, to retrace their steps and get the country working, because the younger generation will soon begin asking questions. Now, he left because he said he had a dream. And now he made this point. Now, this point is very vital, because is it running so they will not ask him questions? Because he said the younger generation will soon start asking questions.
Oh, well. So let me also clear something up. When you said he left because he had frightening dreams. No, that's not what happened. He had left in quotes. He had wanted to come back when those dreams came upon him. Look, it is one thing to say, I don't believe he had those dreams. He's just looking for excuse not to come back. That can be anybody's personal opinion, and I can't put a spanner to that. But what I'm saying is, according to his own story, right? It was when they had wanted to return to Nigeria. His wife dreamt and said she came and then left. And in his own case, said he came first. He was attacked, and the second, I think he was in the physique of somebody. But some even by national temperament, isn't the kind of person that that anybody would imagine, you know,
going
Fighting.
into.
we know those that if you said,
assault.
if yes, well, I mean, I've seen pastors who say, I'll be strict on the pulpit. So if such a person was involved in fisticuffs,
Yeah.
you can still say, okay, after all, based on what he used to say. But this is not a man that, so I mean, that's on the one. And then he said that it was when he wanted to come back. Now, on the issue of asking questions, okay, when Pastor Chris Okote came out and said he wanted to run for president, I don't know how many of us voted for him. How many, let's say Christians or people who are critical and logical. I don't know how many of us voted for him. Remi Shonaya came in 2015 with Kowa party.
Okay, yeah.
She was a Sunday school teacher in a church in Ife. I don't know how many of us voted for her.
Tunde Bakare.
Tunde Bakare has been run. Tunde Bakare, it was SMS he was sending to APC delegates to vote for him. He didn't get a fraction more than his own personal vote. After, he bought the ticket with his own money, 100 million naira. Yet, not once, people didn't even say, being a pastor, and of course, if you know Tunde Bakare very well, people have accused him of adopting what they call liberation theology. This street thinking of trying to turn what should be a theocratic place into a properly democratic place. So when this sort of thing that the pulpit is, as it were, playing to street sentiments, the pastor must be accountable, and so on, which is fine. Of course, I agree with it. But you see, so where we are, but I don't know what people expect Reverend Sam to do. Maybe he should run for office or because during NSAS, he was co-opted. I don't know whether he was co-opted or because he supported the NSAS or something like that. The next thing that happened was they put him on the terror watch list. Have you forgotten?
Sure.
He was on the watch list. They said it was even some Aisha Yusufu's husband that said, how can they put Pastor Sam on Reverend Sam on this watch list? In fact, it was then that Aisha Yusuf said that was her husband's favorite pastor. You know, who you are can't be all about what you know of yourself. Who you are, right, is in part them by what people also think about you. So it's not just about intentions. Action also matters. This is why, for me, whenever Sam is saying that the younger generation will ask questions, I think in a way, during NSAS, you recall that NSAS, on the Sunday of NSAS, or one of the Sundays, they streamed, after the Friday Jumat prayers, they streamed Pastor Sam's service at the toll gate in Lagos here. He was their pastor, as it were. So it's like saying he is very much in the consciousness of the younger generation. And I think that maybe you add Kojo Yemade to the mix, you add a bit of Polade Farasin, you add a bit of David Oyedepo, you add a bit of Reverend Sam. Reverend Sam, of course, wholly and wholesomely, the likes of even the man that has David Christian Center, Kingsley Okonkwo, a number of them are people who focus on providing practical tips for young people in marriage, in finance, in business, in leadership, success, and so on. They are not among those who say, if your head is aching you, it is a spirit of something. It's your grandfather's ancestor in the village. Go and do 3 days drive. They focus more on the mind.
Now, while we talk about, yes, all right.
Which I believe is the sort of thing Nigerians need.
Okay.
The liberation of our way of thinking, the liberation of our conception of. In fact, do you know that Pastor Sam Adeyemi I bought a book he wrote many years ago, The Nigeria of My Dream, right? There have been times when he has gone to where in the church he will come and put a 3D picture animation of what's it called? Oshodi. How Oshodi has become even at Jegunle, how it has become New York or become Dubai. For many, 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 many years, this man has made his ministry an incubation of the new Nigeria we should all have. So I mean, if a man like him, like I said, anybody saying those dreams are a lie has a right to say so. You can't. But as a man, I think that his substance speaks for himself. Speaks for him that he has dreamt and invested himself in trying to achieve a new and better Nigeria.
Yeah, very true. So while we truly do appreciate, all the inspirational, guidance, from some of these men of God. Just before we came up on the show, my crew, one of them was saying a pint of Gary now goes for 4,500 naira in Nigeria. Yeah. 4,200 naira. Now, this was a product that was before February 25th, or maybe, sorry, May 29th last year was less than 2,000 naira.
Well, less than even 1,000 in some
Be
places,
beautiful.
yeah.
Now,
100, 1,000,
yes.
1,000.
So, in as much as we are not trying to be religious on this particular show, but I think it's very important we draw some message from Christ himself. While he was here with us, he spoke truth to authority. Right? He called to authority, he called to action those who were against the people. Now, why do you think men of God are shying away from this responsibility? Knowing that they are opinion leaders, knowing that they can actually, redesign and set an agenda that could really translate to the prosperity we have in Nigeria. Oyedepo is doing an awesome job with that. Why are we not having an array of other men of God following us?
So in terms of advocacy for a better society and so on, let me make any answer I give now cannot be said to be gospel. I will only use my understanding of these things to give what I think is an answer to your question, which I believe is a very genuine question. Now, there are many of them who have been doing this. There's one of them who kept on saying this until one day he was almost assassinated. Okay? They fired on him, on his convoy and so on. He has come out to say certain things. That's one. Number two, like I said, Bishop Oyedepo. Of course, I've watched a lot of his videos where he has come out very strongly. Of course, so maybe by a question, a pass mark for him too. In the case of a man like Reverend Sam Adeyemi, maybe he has been working from another prison, which is while you speak, tell government what they should be doing and what they shouldn't be doing. He is also sort of preparing the minds of the people for a time when so if the vacuum is created, what do we then do?
Okay.
So that's also another. That's where I see Reverend Reverend Sam's intervention coming from. I mean, like I said, I've read his books, a number of them. Certainly the one he said, The Nigeria of My Dream. He explained the American dream, the British dream, and then he came to the Nigerian dream and explained, some things, which of course I totally buy into. Now, but having said that, those who haven't spoken, it may not be that they wouldn't speak. I give an example. There was a man called Elijah in the Bible. Elijah did a lot of that. He would go to the king and say, you are the trouble of Israel. You are the problem in Israel. And because of what you've done, there will be no rain in Israel. And indeed, for 3.5 years, no rain fell. Okay? Until he came back and he said, we are going to kill you. He said, it is your house that will die first. Then he said, okay, now it will die. And rain indeed also fell. Maybe Archbishop Idausa did a lot of that when he was alive. But the man that Elijah handed over to, his name was Elisha. I can't remember where Elisha was ever confronting anybody. And yet, Bible texts tell us that Elisha inherited a double portion of Elijah's grace. So one would have thought that he would have been blazing fire everywhere he went. But he didn't particularly do that. So I think maybe because it is, like I said, for those who are not doing it, whatever reason is making them not to do it is entirely up to them. But I want to believe that each person in his own space. I mean, if you listen to someone like Adeyemi, he organizes the platform series. You know the platform series, right? Where policymakers come together, meet minds and speak. I believe it's the much they can do. If government, we have spoken to them, they've not changed. We've sung to them, they've not changed. We've danced to them, they've not changed. We've shouted, they've not changed. Maybe we'll continue the efforts and one day, hopefully, they change. But to think that maybe they should now leave their primary calling, as it were, and turn the pulpit into liberation, rebellion platforms. Even the people that you think you're fighting for, you may be surprised where they really stand. In your congregation, there are APC sympathizers. There are PDP sympathizers. There could be all kinds of tendencies. How do you even know who is really who? I think that anything anybody anointed and called of God should do is to first hear God and say what he says they should say.
Very true. You see, Choma, in as much as we appreciate all that have been said and done and all, on the other side of the divide, in other parts of the world, they see Nigerians differently. Sure. It's been proven that Nigeria is the second most religious country in the world. But with that comes poverty, comes anarchy, comes lots of issues. And the catch question is, then why aren't all of those doing the magic
And the truth
like
now
other parts
is,
of the world?
yeah, looking at some Adeyemi now, he's not becoming the front line because they believe that one of our leaders, who is a religious person, left the shores of Nigeria to go seek refuge
Good,
somewhere
yeah, good in a
else.
pasture.
Yes, and we hope that the major reason why he actually took the decision will actually be cleared and Nigerians will lose their faith
Very
or
true.
lose the belief in Nigeria
Yeah,
because
very
he's
true.
one advocate for Nigeria. He believes Nigeria will definitely grow to become a better place.
Yes, very true. Of course, we'd love to say our big thank you to Cyril Abaku for being part of our show.
Thank you.
Thank you for making sense and helping us to clear the air on this particular sensitive matter. We truly do appreciate you. All right, thank you so very much for being part of our show today. But please do well to visit our website at www.enterprisetvnews.com and also like, comment respectfully, and follow us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV7. I am Henry Igwebike.
I am Choma Okoya. Thank you.
And on behalf of the entire team of Enterprise Television, thank you for watching once more and bye-bye from us.
Yeah, bye.
Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.